Today's date is 11/10. We had an intraday spike straight up, and then on a 3/6 straight back down on human genome. The volume right now is 6:59 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Today's date is 11/10 of 2010. And basically, as I was talking about in the morning, increased volatility. There was some headlines that have come out, some positive comments about upgrades on it. And they are going to announce their new product. There are presentations and events, but we start to see the volatility spike. That's what that volatility spike looks like on human genome. And basically what it was is it's not an FDA approval statement, because it's not. So this is being included in our special series leading up to Tuesday, the November 16th. That's when they actually are going to have the decision from them. Right now, during this week, they are once again presenting their data. And like we have said, covering this special biotech company, and GlaxoSmithKline is involved. So basically, we've been invested in it, and we're going to stay the course. And other people are starting to come out. Citigroup came out and says, as widely expected. And I go, well, what kind of statement is that? You know, it just goes to show you there's a 22,000 share purchase right there. 22. Let's take a look and just take a look in our special volume series. Now, before the MMT started this morning, they took a snapshot of yesterday's price volume action. And today's date, like I said, is 11/10 of 2010 right here. And what you're looking for is there was a 150,000 share block that went off at 9:47. And you could see where the headline event from comments, this has nothing to do with their approval. It doesn't have anything to do with any of it. It's just other type of comments, but the volatility spike is there. MMTs, as those announcements were, I'm sorry, I'm back on tape. But you can see what I was talking about in pre-market. I said how the bid and ask would change. But I also talked about in pre-market, because, you know, this is a special, but how they had walked it down on the volume 100 shares. Just walked the bids down. About 5 or 6 deltas in our system, over $6. Because we were at one time up at, in its original trend cycle, as far as its trend cycle goes. I'm not talking about company news, because they haven't come out with any company news other than these hearings are going on this week. And basically the cure for lupus, the reason why we wanted to be in it was that none of them could meet our checklist. And we had a very long checklist that we had to go by. And then the news has not come out, but if patients are living longer from lupus, it needs to get out on the product line so that people can start administering it and start using the lupus drug. Because it would, it would provide less suffering for people, naturally so. And that's the important thing, is that this drug this week,
6,000 just
66,000 shares just went off. 66,000. There
Volume's
it
up
is.
to 2 million.
At 24.05. Now we're at 2 million shares intraday live.
Average daily volume is 2.4
a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Look at that. There's that print in your volume. Once again, let's get back to the benefits of humanity. The thing about it is that people have been suffering for 5 decades, 50 years. And it's only that lately, in the last 7 or 8 years, that people started looking at, well, what do we do with our human body and how do we repair it? Well, Human Genome Sciences has a great technology, and Ray will even tell you so. And so it has a lot going for itself. This is just an update of the volatility that the name has been going through up to its actual approval. So basically on Wednesday morning,
but NASDAQ are at
there
0.
were some comments that came out that created that knee jerk. And I want MMTs to know that that's the beginning process of the volume increase that we talked about, the block buying going into the event. And this is a very special series on a very special large biotech stock that has a lot to offer humanity. So that's the thing about it. This is the knee-jerk reaction and the kinds of things that people do related on Wall Street. But outside of Wall Street, the other world is the world that's important.
New low on the NASDAQ, new low on the comp. Apple's breaking down 1%.
Basically, this is what the volatility is going to be like. The analyst comments I'll update later in the series. Today is Wednesday. There is a program schedule that will be available online that you can get involved with on future updates of lupus treatments at once, as we move forward in 2011, 12, and so forth. Right now, volatility price action, increased volume, 7:08 a.m. at 2.2 million shares and climbing. What we'll be looking for is where the bid and the ask. Another large print of 49,000 shares. Money flow up to 7.1 million in the special Gianni. Oh my goodness, he had to move in on 49,000 shares of Gianni. And they got that price trying to be made after walking that dog down in that volatility. Look at it here. There's that spike. That's how they start. We're looking at where the buyers want to keep jumping in at every moment. We're looking for the bigger block shares. We're looking for the big guys to come in down here like that last 49,000. Wow, the 100,000 share print at 10:06. So look at some of the bigger buyers. 24,000, 49,000 come in right here at 10:08 at 23.96. You can see their prices. Okay, and that's the volatility that gets in the name outside of the drug. What SMF MMTs care about is the final end result of what the drug does for not Wall Street, but for the people who suffer with the illness, and that illness gets treated, and that they get their product out. It's met all the end requirements and safety, and we will update you later on a different part. This tape is 8 minutes and 25 seconds, so we'll let everyone know that we'll come back to the trade. The time is, as you can see, it is 7:10 a.m., and these are the beginnings of these Wall Streeters trying to take advantage of the price. Walking it down here, then creating something. And, the thing about it is, what we care about is the end result, that Human Genome delivers the end result, and that patients start benefiting immediately, and there is treatment for the drug lupus.